What's good, YouTube? It's your man MGTOW with another episode of Muscle and Manhood. Got a pretty interesting response. Not really interesting, just a pretty good response to the video that I uploaded called Am I Going MGTOW? And I want to follow up the video with a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't want people to think that I am not going MGTOW because I'm totally against their premise. The MGTOW premise is pretty spot on. The only hang-up that I have with MGTOW is that a lot of the people who subscribe to this movement, you know, MGTOW is not a membership, it's a movement. It's a response to feminism. And the only problem that I have with it is that it's a response to feminism. You know, feminism is not a new thing, guys. And we can't respond with a movement towards a movement because you actually give fuel to it. You know, that which you resist persists. So the best way for those in the MGTOW or MGTOW brotherhood, of which I frankly belong, you know, I belong to the idea of a man keeping his wealth. I belong to the idea of a man keeping his seed, his children. I belong to the idea that women are abusive and use violence. Not necessarily their own violence, but the law, the violence of the law, to strip men of their divine leadership and of their resources, their hard-earned resources. I'm 100% MGTOW when it comes to that aspect of it, but I don't like labels that. Now I have a problem with labels. Okay, labels help me to understand what something is. All right, but I don't like labels that disempower me. And I would just be careful to those of you who are MGTOW, I would just be careful to recognize the weakness in the movement. Every movement has a weakness, by the way. Don't get butt sore because I said MGTOW, because I'm saying that MGTOW has a weakness, and it has one. And that's that its framework is often centered in anger, in resentment, and hurt. And men need to evaluate the motivation for why they're a part of MGTOW. I think MGTOW is alpha as fuck if it doesn't come from a place of anger, if it comes from a place of detachment, where that a man is good whether he has a woman or not. He's not offended if a woman doesn't stay with him, if he's not crushed if a woman behaves like a woman. If a man is in his masculine core and accepts responsibility for how he conducts himself, even to the extent that he says, you know what, marriage is not for me, not because I don't want to be committed to this relationship long term, but because it's not an intelligent decision. That I respect about MGTOW. But whenever it's coming from a place of, my wife did this to me, my girlfriend did this to me, the women out here, you know, don't treat me with respect, I can't get a date, I can't get laid, you know, because MGTOW sometimes overlaps with the PUA community. You got a lot of socially awkward guys who are jumping on the bandwagon, and they're misogynistic, and they hate women because they're angry at women because they're not learning social skills from men, older men who are successful. They have been imprinted by their mothers, grandmothers, aunties, and weak men, and they've been imprinted by Hollywood. Some of them have been imprinted by gay men who are not in their masculine core, and as a result, they're having a very difficult time with the opposite sex. If MGTOW, or MGTOW, however you want to pronounce it, if those who are part of the community understand themselves and are willing to take responsibility for their own masculine development, recognize that how you arrive with every woman is your own experience. You can have, I'll walk up to a woman and have a totally different experience with her than you will, depending upon how I come to that conversation. Now, here's one more part. A woman knows within a minute or two whether she's going to sleep with you. What that means is she already knows whether or not she finds you sexually attractive or someone that she would mate with. Everything after that has to do with how you conduct yourself. Now, you can open your mouth and ruin that, or you can open your mouth and make that work for you. And the same thing is true with men. Men will look at a woman and they know right away whether or not they would bed that woman. Now, she can keep running her mouth and reveal more about herself that will make him change his mind or not. What I'm saying is that every day has to be reminding that woman why she's with you. She needs to see your value all the time. You need to understand that's just the way women are. Men are different. Men will actually make a commitment to some shit, and they'll stay in the shit because they keep their word. They're honorable. I'm just being real with you. There are way more men who are honorable and they'll just keep their word than there are women. Women say, fuck it, I get to change my mind because I have women's prerogative. Fuck that. You have men's prerogative. You can change your mind too. You can say, you know what, honey, you're not living up to my standards, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And this 75% divorce rate that we see that women are filing, see, because the divorce rate is up to 50% right now in the United States. But 75% of the people filing for divorce are women. Why? Because they're in an empowered position. Much of this position is psychological. It's the inner game. It's how they've been raised by Hollywood and Disney, and men too. They've been raised by the same sources to value women and gay males over masculine heterosexual males. I don't care if you're gay, straight, or whatever. If you want to be gay, be gay. Shit, I'm not against gay people. Do what you want to do. I'm for heterosexual men, though. So in a way, I'm against gay, because if their agenda is to eliminate all heterosexual males, then I got a problem with you. But shit, I should have a part of the conversation too, right? I should be able to say I'm for straight males without gay people coming at me saying that I'm homophobic. That's bullshit. Okay, so save it. Save that for someone else who's of lesser intelligence, because that's not what's going on. It's not about homophobic nothing. That's nothing but a euphemism. I'm pointing out the facts. The relationship, I'm talking about men and women. Gay don't even enter into this conversation for real. But masculine energy, if you're trying to attract feminine energy, you need to be at the higher end of that polarity, guys. Man, you have to be more in your masculine core. Get in the fucking weight room. Start to release some testosterone. That's why my channel is called Muscle and Manhood. I don't lift weights just for physique. I lift weights so I can keep my HGH levels and my testosterone levels as high as possible in a country where the environment itself lowers the testosterone level in men. The foods and waters and stuff that we drink, there's estrogen in them to lower the testosterone level so that men will be more docile. MGTOW men know this stuff. They're knowledgeable. Where a lot of them are running into problems is that they're not taking proper ownership for the nature and character of the opposite sex. The woman has always been this way. This isn't a brand new phenomenon. It's just that she's being given the support of gay males in powerful places to create a social climate where men are ostracized and marginalized. That's enough for this video. But I'm going to wrap it up by saying MGTOW can be alpha as fuck if they just get the emotion out of it. Don't be so fucking angry. Calm down and understand what women are. Understand their natures. You're not going to be attracted to every woman. Just recognize that when you come, you need to come correct. And with the women you deal with, it needs to be on your terms. And you need to set a certain type of standard for yourself and for that woman. And let her know, I am the lead. If that's the way it's going to be, God put me in this position. And I'm going to honor the God that created me in the order of nature that he situated things. And I'm going to flow in that. If you're with that, you can roll with me. If you're not with that, keep it moving. I want a feminine woman. A lot of you guys are married to and date masculine women. And I've done the same. And one of two things will happen whenever you come into your masculine core. The masculine woman that you're with will either submit because you need to dominate them. Because women want to be dominated that way. Women who are feminine. If you're dealing with a masculine woman who doesn't want to be feminine though, she won't submit. And she will rebel against you. There's a movie called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. A lot of you guys will know about this flick. It's a Chinese martial arts film. Great flick. But there's a great scene where you have this princess who's, an incredible martial artist in her own right. She was taught by a witch and basically like a bandit. And there's a part of the movie where she chases down another bandit who happens to be a male, and to retrieve a comb or something that was stolen from her whenever, they were hijacked. Her family was hijacked by these bandits. I'm botching it all up, but here's the point. She fell in love with the bandit, who was kind of her captor. And they fought and fought and fought, and she fell in love with him because he eventually dominated her. Look at that movie. And I'm not telling you to go to Hollywood to find out some clues, but this is a really good clue about the nature of men and women, especially the climate that we're in today. You need to not physically fight with your woman, but you need to figure out a way where you're going to dominate and you're going to make it very clear that I'm not going to be emotionally upset by you. I'm going to run this. And you do it with a fucking smile on your face. You say, look, I'm running this. You can fight it all you want. You either stay and come correct, or you go ahead and pack your bags and leave. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Always, always, always be a man.